The Fairhope Pirates captured their first victory of the season last week and invade Ladd tonight, looking to continue that momentum. But the Warriors will have none of that as they try and get Coach Fred Riley his 100th win at Davidson. Tonight, it is the MCPSS Thursday night kickoff. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Down on the field, we have Pablo Foster and Corey. Tonight, it's another 7A Region 1 matchup, but we have two teams kind of going in two different directions.
You're exactly right, Al. The Fairhope Pirates started off 0-5 this season, got their first victory of the season versus the Baker Hornets a week ago. And you look at the Davidson Warriors, a team that hasn't made the playoffs for the last 3 years. Now they're at the number 2 seed in 7A Region 1, looking to go ahead and win possibly their 5th game in a row since suffering that triple overtime loss to McGill-Tulane earlier in the year.
Davidson on a 4-game winning streak. I just mentioned it, that tonight Coach Riley could get his 100th win, securing that victory at Davidson, his 100th win at Davidson. So it's got kind of a big game for the Warriors, if you want to call it that, to get a mark of that magnitude, Corey. Right now, let's take a look at your checklist tonight for both of these teams. Let's see who we have up first here for us tonight.
And the checklist of items, Corey's checklist of items, is going to be very important for both teams to win. You look at Corey's checklist for Davidson. Number one, they have to not allow Fairhope to control time of possession. That's something that Tim Carter and the Fairhope Pirates are looking to do. They have to make Fairhope respect the downhill running game of the two running backs, Edwards and Jones. And they also have to control Fairhope's 4 guys at the line of scrimmage. The front 4 is going to be very important for the Davidson Warriors.
Now, on the other side, what would you say we have to look out for Fairhope on your checklist there?
They have to stay away from predictable down and distance. They can't put themselves in 2nd and 12 and 3rd and long. They also have to mirror Davidson and control time of possession. They want to keep that football, keep that dynamic offense of Davidson off of the field, and they also have to limit the turnovers, Al.
You're right about that. I talked with Coach Tim Carter down on the field before the game. He said they've got to create some turnovers, and also he knows Davidson is a fast team. So just like you said on your checklist, they cannot get behind the sticks early. He said he wants to win special teams tonight. That victory last week was a big thing for Fairhope. They had a couple guys come back from injury, so they were glad to get that first victory of the season over Baker. Somewhat of a surprise in 7A Region 1, Corey, because I'm pretty sure a lot of folks thought Fairhope was going to lay down to Baker, and Fairhope getting that win kind of shook things up in Region 1 play here in 7A.
We talked about it a week ago. Never take any game for granted, especially in 7A football. But when you're in the underdog role and have nothing to lose, as the Pirates are this season, due to the number of injuries they've sustained, look for the Pirates not to lay down and just wave the white flag on that ship tonight.
We're almost ready for our kickoff from Joe Montano. Fairhope will be receiving the ball back for them. They have a few return guys. DeMel Bell, running back / flanker. He does a lot of that. And taking it for the Pirates, number 14, Tanner Deeds, makes his way up to about the 25-yard line, brought down about the 22 or 23, and we'll get our first look at the Fairhope Pirates tonight.
Gabrielle Johnson does an outstanding job for the Davidson Warriors. He's a 5'9", 209-pound sophomore linebacker for Davidson, covering that kickoff.
There he is, number 28, DeMel Bell. He plays running back flanker for the Pirates. Pretty much has the majority of their offense. Also quarterback Dylan Castevens. Across the front, Jaquez Childress, Griffin, Reedy, and Chambers, their Fairhope offensive line. And keep your eye out for number 3, Devin Key, wide receiver for the Pirates. 1st and 10, ball at about the 24-yard line. And we have our first action from Fairhope. That pass is incomplete. Sets up 2nd down. Let's take a look at the Davidson Warriors defense tonight.
And you look at the dominant players on defense tonight. Zachary Portlock, the outstanding linebacker, is injured and will not play tonight. So stepping into his position is Cornelius Harris. But also, Davidson's depth is going to be very effective defensively.
It is. Scipio Staten and Tabyron Nettles both had fumble returns for touchdowns last week against MGM. So those guys are really big on defense. 2nd down, Cass Stevens gets the ball out to his receiver across there. Picks up a couple yards. That'll take us to 3rd down.
The big tight end, Kyle Kinger, 5'11", 230-pound senior makes the reception, doesn't get a whole lot of yardage afterwards. The good thing is he controlled the football and didn't fumble it. The bad part for the Fairhope Pirates is, Al, they're still behind the sticks.
That's right. It's third down. Coach Carter said that's something they didn't want to do, and they started off already behind the sticks. Third down, ball just across the 25-yard line. Man in motion. And we have a Wildcat offense there. Cass Stevens not in, and that is shut down. Let's take a look at some of the impact players for tonight we're going to see throughout tonight here with this game for Davidson. Who do you have, Corey?
Marquise Manuels, a defensive back, also former quarterback for the Davidson Warriors, and also another defensive back, Tavares Jones. We'll be calling his name a lot tonight. He's very active defensively.
On the flip side for Fairhope, we'll take a look at their impact players. We're getting ready for a punt here, and of course you just mentioned his name, Marquise Manuel. He's back to receive the punt for the Warriors. Kicking duties for Fairhope, Cole Deeds, number 15. He'll be handling kicking and punting duties tonight for the Pirates. Gets the kickoff, but it literally goes straight up and down. I believe it's behind the line of scrimmage, Corey. Let's see where they mark this at.
It's going to be a 1-yard punt total for the Fairhope Pirates.
Yeah, a 1-yard punt. They're bringing it up to about, 34. Let's take a look at the impact players for Fairhope. Who do we have for tonight?
Michael Tomaso, a senior defensive tackle, number 75, as you see, and also DeMel Bell, the running back for the Fairhope Pirates. We'll be calling both of their names if the Fairhope Pirates want a chance to win this football game tonight.
That's true. 10-13 remaining in the first quarter. Davidson with great field position here. After that, we'll call it a 1-yard punt. I'm with you on that, Corey. Cephas Johnson, the quarterback for Davidson, tries to get out to the receiver. That's incomplete, trying to connect with DeMorris Coleman. Incomplete pass.
And DeMorris Coleman, 6 foot, 160-pound senior, has 3 touchdown receptions on the season, but that pass really wasn't consistent with the flow of his motion, throwing motion. It's one that he would like to have back out, but he's not going to get that back. It's going to bring up 2nd and long for the Davidson Warriors.
It is. Davidson picked up a big region win last week over MGM, 40-20. The Warriors on a 4-game winning streak, as we told you earlier. They are one of the red-hot teams down here in the Gulf Coast. Hand off to Dante Edwards, goes in the middle, cuts back out. He's got room. Johnson laying down the block, and Edwards is on his way up the sideline. Can he get in? Scores. 33-yard touchdown for Dante Edwards. There is a flag late on the play. Right about the 8-yard line.
And Dante averages 133 yards per game. His longest run of the season was 90 yards. He has has eclipsed the 800-yard mark if that touchdown holds and it's not called against the Davidson Warriors. But we'll let Tim Porter sort out this flag that his crew threw on the play.
It appears if it's coming back. So Mr. Edwards will still be shy of 800 yards. We had him coming to the game at 799.
And he had 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. And he's a strong, dynamic back. He runs very low to the ground, but as you saw, he cut back across the field, and as soon as he gets going north and south, he hit that hole with a lot of acceleration.
Picked up some great blocks, but apparently those blocks were too much. Brings the ball back at about the 17-yard line. Davidson looking to punch his back in. They go right back to him. Dante Edwards up the middle, bruising. He's going beast mode early tonight. Close to another first down for the Davidson Warriors.
Brett Howell comes and makes the stop, the defensive back, 182-pound junior. But as we said, Dante Edwards averages close to 13 yards per rush on the season. So anytime he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's looking to take it to the house.
2nd and 2 is what we'll call it here, as Davidson looking to strike early inside the ball game. 9:21 remaining here in the first quarter. And we are off to a quick start. Handoff once again to Edwards, weaving his way up the middle. He should have enough for the first down and keeps the pile going. We talk about it every week, Corey, keeping those legs moving, keeping the feet moving when you're wrapped up by some guys.
And one of the things that Davidson wanted Fairhope to do was to respect the downhill running game, and that's what Mr. Edwards is bringing to the game right now.
Tonight, partly cloudy, 79 degrees, 74% chance, 74% humidity. It definitely feels like that down on the field. I know we are out of heat timeouts for the season, but Corey, definitely humid tonight. I'm pretty sure some of the players wouldn't mind some of those heat timeouts under 6 minutes tonight, but we won't receive them. Beautiful night for football. Up the middle, handoff to Tavares Jones. He gets close to the goal line.
And it is great when you can go running back by committee. Tavares Jones, one of our impact players, he's a defensive back and a running back. He has 39 rushes for 361 yards on the season, along with 5 rushing touchdowns. Almost hit pay dirt on that rush as well.
With the Warriors, you could have your pick of the litter for impact players, Corey. So Jones comes out, Edwards comes back in. It's almost like a 1-2 punch for Coach Fred Riley. They give it off to Edwards, and he is up the middle, held up. The Pirates put up a big stand there. Let's take us a third down, 3rd and 1. Third and goal.
Michael Tommaso and Ryan Dunbar clocking up that middle for the Fairhope Pirates. And with that being said, if you can limit, it would be huge for the Pirates to come away with some type of goal line stand and hold the Davidson Warriors to a field goal attempt.
Edwards comes out of the game, and in steps Tavares Jones, the 1-2 punch once again. So 3rd and goal here for the Warriors, trying to get into the end zone. They had one brought back on a penalty in Wildcat formation. Direct snap to Jones. He fakes it going around the end. He's got room. Tavares Jones in the end zone. Touchdown, Davidson Warriors.
And Tavares Jones, from that Wildcat position, scores his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. That's one of the toughest 2-yard touchdown runs you'll see, as he just got over the left end and saw pay dirt, as we mentioned earlier. As we look at the replay from the Wildcat position, he just takes it 2 yards, bowls over the defender, and hits pay dirt. 6 points for the Davidson Warriors.
On for the extra punt, Joe Montano. See if Davidson can get this up, and kick is up, looks good. Davidson on top, 7-0 over Fairhope. 7:21 remaining in the first quarter. Stick with us, more action headed your way. It's the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, brought to you by WKRG TV. Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, brought to you by WKRG TV. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corley Bounty in the booth. On the sidelines is Pablo Foster. Davidson out to an early 7-0 lead, Corey.
And one of the things that Fred Riley's not going to like on that play is the penalty that negated the long run earlier of Dante Edwards, but they were able to get 6 on the board plus the extra point anyway.
They were. Here are the Pirates with receiving the kick. Deeds across the end. He gets to about the 25-yard line. We'll mark him out. And we'll get our second look at the Fairhope Pirates offense. That first drive wasn't very good for them, Corey. Not very productive, negative yards. I know Coach Carter's not too happy with that.
No, that's one of the things that they must do. They cannot get behind in down and distance situations. They're not a good football team, according to Coach Carter, when they do get behind down and distance. And on first down, you would like to see them give the ball to DeMel Bell and try to get this sophomore running back some positive yards.
Yeah, he's accounted for a third of the team's offensive production this season, gained to 504 yards on the ground and 113 receiving yards. So he's an integral part of the team. Little screen, and there it is. Out to the back himself, DeMel Bell. We just talked about him. He picks up the first down across the 40-yard line.
And if he's not running the football, that's a great offensive call by the offensive coordinator, Thomas Duffy, showing DeMel Bell coming out of the backfield. And as we look at the instant replay, DeMel Bell had the handoff, screen all the way, bubble screen up the middle. DeMel Bell knows what to do with it in that situation.
There is a flag on the play. It looks like that one's coming back, Corey. Probably against Fairhope there.
Ineligible downfield on the white team. It's 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
We hear that a lot with the spread offense, ineligible receiver downfield.
But after a positive and great play for the Pirates, you see them being behind on down and distance once again on first down. They have a lot of weapons offensively. We talked about the injuries that Coach Carter and his team has sustained. But with them being in the shotgun position, it puts them in a situation where they're not going to get positive yards through the quarterback rushing the football because Davidson does a good job of bringing the 4 up front.
They're going Wildcat now, handoff to the back. We had number 10 in there, Devin Mitchell running the Wildcat, and that's no gain as Bell picks up no yards. That takes us to 2nd and 15 for the Pirates.
And that's going to be a predictable down and distance situation. 2nd down and 15 yards to go. What you want to try to do is get half of those yards back here on 2nd down. Probably not going to get them all at one time, but if you're able to bring up 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, that's more manageable for you.
Receivers at the top and the bottom for the Pirates. Deeds in motion, cuts across the middle, and they find him wide open. He's got room, gets across the original line of scrimmage, and I see another flag on the play, Corey.
And that's something that the Fairhope Pirates just cannot have happen in them tonight. When the snap of the ball happens and the yellow flag comes out, that's something Tim Porter and his crew don't want to stay busy tonight with the laundry on the field.
It looks like the call is ineligible. Tonight's officials: Tim Porter, John B., Carl McDowell, Tyler Bulow, Dwayne Bowers, Donnie Frazier, and David Howell. They'll be officiating the action for us tonight.
Play. An eligible receiver downfield on the offensive team. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Second time we've had that penalty in this series. So something is going on the Pirates side of the field. Maybe the kid's not understanding. Is it the form of the play? Or that second time in the same series, Corey.
When you know it's a pass and play, you know you must stay at home. You know you can't go down the field when there's a pass and play if you're an offensive lineman. And that's something that's happened to them twice, which has now put them at 2nd down and 20.
2nd and 20, trips at the bottom of the screen. Cass Stevens looking to connect. Tries to get it out to the receiver, and he drops it, pass thrown behind him a bit there. Noah May was the intended receiver.
Another incomplete pass for the Fairhope Pirates. You want to try to get half of those yards back at 3rd down and 20. You want to try to bring up 4th down and 10 possibly if you're not able to get this 1st down. But the thing is, if you do pump the ball to the Davidson Warriors, you're creating a shorter field for them to drive offensively, something I know Coach Carter wants to stay away from.
3rd and 20, ball at the Fairhope 12-yard line. They haven't gotten the offense quite together tonight so far. Cass Stevens back to throw again with the quick screen, and that is interrupted, incomplete. Trying to reach Bell once again, and we'll see the punting team for the Pirates.
Chaz Clemens comes from his nose tackle position and disrupts that play, bringing up a tremendous down and distance for the Fairhope Pirates. 4th and 20. It is going to create a short field. If there's a good punt, the last one only went 1 yard. If you're able to punt this ball away to Marquise Mays, we know what type of speed that he has for the Davidson Warriors. Excuse me, Marquise Manuel. I had an Alabama flashback right there, Marquise Mays. Manuel will be on the return for the Warriors.
Here's Dees on the punt. He gets it off, but there's a flag on the play, possibly running into the kicker. We will see about that because Deeds did go down.
It's going to be a personal foul.
Oh, not running in. That's personal foul. So that is going to give the Pirates a little breathing room. That'll be a 15-yard penalty.
But on 4th down and 20, I understand wanting to bring the pressure and try to block that punt, but you're going to get great field position regardless.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the receiving team's 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Automatic 1st down, and you can see Coach Fred Riley chewing into the special teams crew there for making that mistake. That was an opportunity to get the ball back and get some more points on the board.
And as if you go back and look at the replay, the punter is hit by Staten.
Scipio Staten.
Number 25 in that situation. And the punter is defenseless, so you definitely want to take care of him. Excuse me, that's 26.
No, not
that
Scipio.
Went ahead and roughed the Tavares Jones.
Tavares Jones.
And he's getting the earful from the coaching staff after roughing the kicker on that situation.
So Fairhope gets a second chance here at life. They get the ball back after that roughing the kicker, so it'll be 1st and 10, ball at the 27-yard line. Let's see if this can breathe some life into the Pirates offense.
Again, you don't want the sails to go out early for the Pirates. That gives you a little bit of push, a little bit of momentum, so your ship doesn't sink early, so to speak.
You're right about that. Hand off to Bell. He slips down, Corey, right at the line of scrimmage. Appears as if he lost his footing.
The turf monster went up and grabbed Mr. Bell. on that handoff. But
Yeah.
I like the play call, giving him an opportunity to try to hit the hole hard. Here's a young man that Coach Carter raves about, DeMel Bell, the running back, only 5'8", 180-pound sophomore, is coming to his own.
2nd and 10, no gain on the play. Ball still at the 27-yard line of the Fairhope Pirates. Cass Stevens takes the snap. I'm sorry, that's not Cass Stevens. In the Wildcat there. Number 10, Devin Mitchell.
And Devin Mitchell has 29 carries for only 21 yards on the season. He can throw the ball also, 12 out of 22 for a touchdown on the season. But when you look at that Wildcat play, that's an excellent and different look by the offensive staff of the Fairhope Pirates.
And he picks up the first down. So the Pirates get the sticks going here. And they're still in Wildcat. That's a fumble snap. Mitchell grabs it, and then the Warriors grab him and bring him down. So they'll take a loss on that one.
Anytime you bobble the snap, you're taking an opportunity for this aggressive Davidson Warrior defense to get after you. Norman White on the play for the Davidson Warriors, 6'1", 243-pound junior, right on top of quarterback Mitchell as soon as he dropped that ball.
Oh, and that defense is something else. I saw them last week out at MGM. They had 2 defensive fumble recoveries for touchdowns. One was by Scipio State and the other one by Byron Nettle. So they can definitely hunker down on you when they want to. 2nd and 16, Cass Stevens decides to keep it, heads up the middle, trying to get some yards, close to getting back to the original line of scrimmage, but he may be short on that. That'll take the Pirates to 3rd down.
And this is going to be a huge play right here. James Potter, the nose tackle, 6 foot, 252-pound senior on the stop. But with that being said, the Fairhope Pirates now looking at about 3rd down and 11.
And they have been in this situation a lot tonight, Corey. Behind the sticks, 2nd down, 3rd down with significant yards to get. So 3rd and 11, ball at the 36, trying to keep this thing going here. Only down 7-0 with 3:13 remaining in the first quarter. Garner almost has Cass Stevens wrapped up, but he escapes to the sideline and gets out at about the 35-yard line. That'll take Fairhope to 4th down.
The very versatile linebacker for the Davidson Warriors, Scipio Staten, held his ground at his outside linebacker position and didn't let Cass Stevens gain any additional yards. And he doesn't have that blazing speed to where when he does turn it up north and south, Dylan Cass Stevens, the quarterback for the Fairhope Pirates, isn't going to gain a lot of yards.
Marquise Manuel back to receive, and Cole Deeds will be handling the punting duties for the Pirates. We appreciate you joining us tonight. MCPSS Thursday night kickoff. I'm Al Whedon, Corley Bounty in the booth. We'll be checking in with Pablo on the sideline, so stick around for some information. He'll give us the lay of the land and the environment, what's going down on the side of the field. Good punt by Deeds there. Very good punt. Manuel takes it at about the 22-yard line and heads up the middle. He's got room. And he's brought down.
Great tackle by Brett Howell in the open field.
Just talking about Pablo, let's head down to the field and check in with Pablo, our first time tonight.
Al, Corey, thank you guys so much. Having a great time out here. And this is a man I always call Mr. Lewis Copeland, the president of Davidson, or the principal of Davidson. And I get kind of nervous around him even now. He was my principal, and he's still there, still doing a great job. I know you're so proud of Coach Riley and all the work he's done athletically, but I know you're really, really proud of the character he's building in these athletes today.
Coach Riley has done a good job for us for the last 12 years. And I like what he does with our kids. He's a lot more than what you see out here Friday night. He does a good job.
Absolutely. Final score prediction?
No, I don't want to do that, but I hope we get the win.
There you go. Mr. Lewis Copeland, the principal of Davidson High School. Al, Corey, back to you guys.
Thank you, Pablo. We'll let you slide. It's an election year. It's a lot of debating going on. So, but Mr. Copeland, you want to call him the president? Sure. He's been at Davidson a while. Very respected principal and educator in the area. So it's okay, Pablo. We forgive you. While we were away, Davidson, no gain on the play, actually takes a loss. Cephas Johnson tried to escape. So they're down 2nd and 13 here. Ball at their own 32-yard line. Man in motion. They decide to hand it off to Dante Edwards. We've seen him do this a lot tonight. Kind of stepping doing a little 1-2 step there, Corey, as he kind of shifts and moves inside the pocket.
The start and stop ability of
Yeah.
the running back did a good job of making a couple of defensive players miss, but Dante Edwards shows you the type of shiftiness that he has within the hole. The ability to do that, you don't see a lot of people doing that because they're scared that they're going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, but an outstanding job of gaining positive yards by Mr. Edwards.
It doesn't look like it, but he picked up 8 yards, Corey. They went from 2nd and 13 to a doable 3rd and 5 right now.
And that was a huge run in this situation for the Davidson Warriors, trying to gain a little offensive momentum after scoring that opening touchdown.
They hand it back off again to Edwards. He's picking his spots here, and the Pirates stand up. Stand him up at about the 40-yard line. So that'll take Davidson to 4th down. Our first time to see their punting unit on.
This defense is giving up 27 points a game, and so far, if you do the math, and I told you I'm not a mathematician, but if they score a touchdown a quarter, it's looking right at 28 points. But so far, so good for the Fairhope Pirates, only giving up 1 touchdown thus far in the first quarter.
Yeah, I've seen Davidson. This is my 4th time seeing them this season, Corey. In the 3 games previous, the least amount they've scored has been 39 points. So they definitely have big scoring capability. Montano gets the punt off. It takes a beautiful Warriors roll, and the returner tried to grab it. That was Cole Deeds. Not Cole Deeds, I'm sorry. That was Tanner Deeds, Cole's brother. They're twins. He fumbles it, and Davidson picks that up.
Once the ball hit the turf, as we're going to take a look hopefully at the instant replay, he was losing yards as soon as the ball hit the turf. He should have just went ahead and yelled fire and got away from the football and decided not to field it. But with that poor decision on the return, after you had already lost those yards, he made it even worse by trying to pick it up. And as we take a look at the replay, Tanner Deeds, as the ball bounces some 20 yards, he just tries to scoop it up, and it just bounces right off his chest. Now Davidson Warriors are back in prime scoring position.
Bounce right off of his shoulder pads, and we have a timeout on the play. I believe that's on Fairhope. I believe they took a timeout. Maybe Coach Carter wants to get the guys over to the side. And this might be a good time to talk to the defense, Corey, because they just had a great stop, but all of a sudden they're back on the field now. You don't want those guys to feel defeated.
Very unexpected. I know the defense was sitting on the sidelines, putting their helmets to the side, and all of a sudden they hear the coaches yell for them, hey guys, you got to get right back out there. Just one of those mental errors and limiting the turnovers by the Fairhope Pirates if they wanted to give themselves an opportunity to beat Davidson tonight. That's one of those that they just cannot afford to do, especially deep in their own territory.
Make sure you stick around with us for halftime. We'll be talking about our Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union Scholar Student Athlete of the Week. We'll have another great athlete and student featured this week, so stick around for that at halftime, plus some more great things happening as the game evolves. We'll share more of that with you. Always look forward to seeing who the Scholar Student Athlete of the Week is.
And in order to play athletics, you have to excel academically, and we have so many scholar athletes who show what they can do, not only on the football field, on the basketball court, or on the volleyball court. Outside of the class, inside the classroom, they're getting it done as well.
You're right about that. Davidson inside the 10-yard line. It is 1st and goal, ball at the 9. Johnson waiting for the snap, man in motion. It's pretty much the Dante Edwards show tonight. They've been feeding him the rock. Coach Riley told me before the game he wants to establish that run early. They got out of it last week, but he wants to get that ball to Dante Edwards as many times as he can.
Dante Edwards, we talked about him being the powerful back, but Davidson is really challenging this front four of the Fairhope Pirates. They said they wanted to control the downhill running game, and that's something that running Edwards on that play, it's very obvious.
Fairhope averaging 226 pounds on their defensive line. On the other hand, Davidson averaging 263. Handoff out there to number 22, A.J. Williams, and he's brought down for a loss.
Gibbs Sherrill did an outstanding job of pushing up the field. Cephas should have kept that ball and decided to go ahead and run the option. But Gibbs Sherrill, the linebacker, 5'10", 181-pound junior, stayed at home and had a tackle for loss.
Stayed in his lane, stayed at home, and that's a big, big tackle for the Pirates. Pirates 3rd and 20. And we're getting a timeout right now. I think Coach Riley definitely wants to talk to his team and talk to them about what's going on. I'm sorry. It's the end of the first quarter, Corey. Look at there. Wow. Time has flown by. We wrapped up one quarter. We have 3 more to go. It's the MCPSS Thursday night kickoff, brought to you by WKRG. Davidson on top, 7-0 over Fairhope. Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday night kickoff, brought to you by WKRG TV. I'm Al Whedon, Corley Bounty in the booth. On the sidelines is Pablo. Davidson up 7-0 as we enter the second quarter. 3rd and 20, or 3rd and goal if you want to call it. Pass complete out to the receiver, and they get it out to James Clemens. First time we've seen him make a reception tonight, Corey. They've been running Dante Edwards all night.
And a young man, James Clemens, 6 foot, 175-pound senior, has 9 receiving touchdowns on the season, over 533 yards total. So we know what he's capable of doing. We've seen him week in and week out be a threat. But if the running game is not established, they're trying to make them respect that running game in the first quarter. It'll open things up for the passing game here throughout the rest of the game.
Joe Montano on for a field goal attempt here for the Warriors. Looks to be about 30 yards. He gets it up, and it is good. So Davidson extends the lead to 10-0 over Fairhope.
And Joe Montana is perfect on the season. That makes him 4 out of 4. His long on the season was 38 yards. That one from 33 yards. And he just was 30 yards out. But perfect on the year, that's an additional weapon. Anytime you bog down in the red zone area, you get it to your reliable kicker. He's a 5'8", 132-pound sophomore, but kicked that ball directly through the uprights.
Last week we saw Foley without their kicker, and that probably could have cost them the game, Corey. They went for the 2 3 times. They were 1 out of 3, and the last 2 times they were not successful, and the big LSU commit Neil Farrell shut them down. So kicking, definitely an important part of the football team there.
All 3 phases of the game you must complete: offense, defense, and more importantly, special teams. As you just mentioned 1 week ago, costing the Foley team a game against the Murphy Panthers. But when you're able to get inside that red zone area and kick it from 30 to 40 yards out as a high school kicker, it's very effective.
Davidson up 10-0 over Fairhope. We talked about it earlier. Coach Fred Riley entering his 13th year at Davidson. He's 1 victory away from reaching 100 wins at Davidson. He has a record of 3-5 against Fairhope while he's been coaching at Davidson. Fairhope brings that ball out to about the 31-yard line. Great field position for them to get a start here in the second quarter.
Gibbs Sherrill on the return for the Fairhope Pirates. But if you're the Fairhope Pirates, how important is this drive now? You're trailing 10-0 against a top 10 7A ranked team, a team that showed total dominance since losing to McGill-Tulane. You want to sustain a drive and try to flip the field. If you can get a good drive going here and establish time of possession, that'll give your defense an opportunity to get a little bit of rest also, Al.
You're right. This is a big drive for the Pirates. Going backwards right now, there was a hold on that return.
10-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
So that'll take it back 10 yards. We've seen a lot of penalties on Fairhope's behalf tonight. So that puts them right at the 20-yard line, 80 yards to get on the board as Cass Stevens wait for the snap. Takes it up the middle. We've seen him do that a time or two tonight. Maybe picks up a yard or two, take him to second down.
Cass Stevens came into tonight's contest with 140 yards rushing and 1 touchdown rushing the football. A little bit more effective throwing the football. He's thrown for 545 yards on the season. His touchdown to interception ratio isn't where it needs to be. 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. But again, trying to establish positive yards on first down is going to be key for the Fairhope Pirates.
Oh, it is essential. 2nd and 8, they give him 2 yards on the carry. Receivers at the top. Cass Stevens hands off to Bell, and he is brought down just past the line of scrimmage. Maybe no gain on that.
The Davidson Warrior defense is just so stingy. Willie Manuel, the outside linebacker, 5'7", 163-pound junior, just said, you're not going to gain any yards. I'm going to stay at home, shed my blocker, and make sure that you're going to remain at 3rd down and 8.
It's a tough defense, Corey. Davidson only allows 19 points a game. So they are very stingy on defense. We are at 3rd down already. Fairhope behind the sticks once again. It's 3rd and 8. Cass Stevens awaiting the snap. 2 receivers at the top, 2 at the bottom. DeMel flanked to his right. DeMel Bell flanked to his right. Cass Stevens rolling out to his right to his strong side, and he airs it out. Overthrows his receiver. That is incomplete. Trying to get in contact with C.J. Edwards.
Yeah, Corey Edwards was open on the play, just overthrown by about 2 yards. That's the cleanest look as we take a look at the replay play. Dylan Cass Stevens, untouched, great throw, just 2 yards further than his wide receiver Corey was there, and going to bring up 4th down and 8 for the Fairhope Pirates.
Put a little too much on that driver off the number 1 tee there, Corey. A little too much.
And it'll come back to haunt you, especially if Davidson, with this situation with the wide receiver being wide open, overthrowing them. Those are the types that you have to complete if you want to beat a ranked team.
I'm surprised they haven't gone to Key very much tonight. He's their leading receiver for the Pirates, Devin Key. That punt is going to go out of bounds right about the 48-yard line of Davidson. So we'll get another look at the Warriors offense here in the second quarter. Did you know that 13 Mobile County Public Schools have been recognized with the highest award given out by the U.S. Department of Education? 8 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 3 high schools have received the National Blue Ribbon. Mobile County Public School System. It all starts with us. 9:27 remaining here in the half. Davidson back on the field. Looking to get some more points on the board, Corey. They're up 10-0 right now.
Offensive coordinator P.J. Wright was told by Fred Riley, let's make them respect the running game. But as that running game loosens up this defense, you can look for them to go long down the field also.
I agree with you. Keep your eye on James Clemens. That's their leading receiver. And they're trying to reach him right there. Bumped into the defensive back. No flag on the play. Maybe the officials felt they both had a chance for it.
And great throw. And I thought a flag may come out on that play, but they allowed both the defender and the offensive player to battle in the air for the possession of the football.
As you just talked about airing out, they're trying to reach Clemens right there. 2nd and 10 for the Warriors. You can pretty much say they're right at the midfield area, 48, 49-yard line. Johnson takes a snap and decides to keep it himself. The South Alabama commit is up the middle, and he's got green grass down to about the 30, maybe 25-yard line. First down and a lot to go with it.
just tripped up by Terrence Gray, the cornerback, 5'9", 140-pound 10th grader. As we take a look at the replay, Cephas fakes it to his back, decides to go right up the heart of the defense, and he's just shoestring tackle. He saw it 6 on his mind, but it moves the sticks nonetheless.
He did. That was a big play for the Warriors. You could kind of sense the offense almost in a lull there somewhat, Corey, but maybe that play should bring them to life. 1st and 10, ball on the 25-yard line. And they hand it back to Dante Edwards up the middle. He picks up maybe 4 or 5, possibly 6 there on the carry.
The Fairhope Pirates go ahead and buckle down on that first down play. As we looked at the earlier play, Cephas Johnson comes in 34 rushes for 159 yards on the season, but he does average 26 yards per game rushing the football and was able to eclipse that on that one long run.
Hasn't thrown it very much. Only needs 127 yards, Corey, to get 1,000 yards on the season. So they've definitely been chunking the ball this season. Handoff once again to Dante Edwards. Look at him. 1-2 step, cuts to the outside. He slows up. I don't know if that's taunting. There's the flag. He gets the score. I kind of saw a little move there as he motioned to the Fairhope player, Corey.
What an outstanding
Wow.
block by Cameron Peoples, the tight end, 6'3", 203-pound junior. Yes, the flag will be thrown maybe prior to him stepping in the end zone. If it is prior to coming in the end zone, they'll bring it back. But let's take a look at the replay here and look at the outstanding block by Peoples down the field. Right there, just crushes the defender in Terrence Gray, which opens it up and gives him opportunity to score 6 for the Davidson Warriors. Tim Porter will talk about this with his crew and give us the call.
It appears as if on the replay.
Good. We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike.
We know who that's against. It's against Davidson. It appears as if he wasn't at the player, but he was almost giving the sound like, I'm taking it to the house. You know, I'm taking it in.
What a great block. Cameron Peoples, when you have your teammates blocking 20 yards down the field for you, 20-yard rushing touchdown by Dante Edwards. But I just love the ability of your tight ends and your linemen to get down the field, find a helmet to knock on the ground, and that was just an outstanding block, which paved the way for the touchdown for the Warriors.
Extra point up, it is good. Davidson on top 17-0 over Fairhope. Stick with us. We've got more action headed your way. It's the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, brought to you by WKRG-TV.
At Tenderbones Catering, our mission is to create an unforgettable event by exceeding your catering expectations. From large banquets to intimate affairs, we offer catering services for up to 1,000 guests. If you're planning a corporate event, party, meeting, or wedding, Tenderbones Catering will make it memorable from start to finish. Innovative cuisine, excellent service, and affordable pricing makes us Mobile's best catering value.
Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff. Davidson on top 17-0 over Fairhope. We're at Lab Peoples Stadium. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Down on the field, it's Pablo. 8:08 remaining in the half. And Corey, Davidson on top 17-0. They get the quick score right there.
Trailing 17-0 is not what Tim Carter envisioned, but one of them was due to a turnover deep in your own territory. You take away that and the field goal, we can't take anything away from a 30-yard field goal by a perfect on the season Montoya. But outside of that, Al, the Fairhope Pirates have pretty much shot themselves in the foot by keeping the defense on the field for so long. The offense has to be able to sustain drives.
They have to. 7A Region 1 matchup between Davidson and Fairhope. Tomorrow we got a big one here at Ladd. Murphy and Theodore. And as I look to my left, Corey, who did I see? Murphy head coach Rick Cawley.
He's knowing that 24 hours from now he has to have a must-win for his Murphy Panthers.
And in about 2 weeks, he'll be facing Davidson right here at Ladd Stadium. Good return right there by Gibbs. Sherrill gets it up to the midfield stripe for Fairhope. Best starting field position of the night for them.
Now you want to see them sustain the drive. If you're able to milk a little bit of that clock, the worst thing that you can do is probably take it down to maybe 6:30 and give it right back to Davidson's high-powered and explosive offense. You do want to make sure that on offensive play calling wise, Thomas Duffy dials up the correct plays, maybe to some wide receivers as we see them with 3 wide receivers in the formation now.
I see the Wildcat. There's Devin Mitchell. He's in right now at quarterback. So we've seen this formation a few times already. Hasn't been too successful, but he's throwing. Pass is incomplete. Almost had two guys in the same area. Number 3, Devin Key, trying to reach him. He's the leading receiver for the Pirates and someone else in the same area.
Devin Key has 14 receptions on the season, but he had to turn his body in an awkward position. Devin Mitchell has thrown the ball 22 times this season, but you want to put that ball on the money on first down especially so you get positive yards.
Mitchell still in the game. Maybe we have a quarterback switch. We shall see here. 2nd and 10. Hand off to Bell. He cuts. He's trying to get his momentum going. It seems as if he was running in quicksand there, Corey. Just couldn't get going. Picks up maybe 1 or 2.
Willie Manuel on the stop, as well as James Potter. If you're going to hit that hole, you don't have time to tippy-toe. You better hit it and get north and south with defense of Davidson too fast east and west for you to be running.
Coach Carter said that before the game. He knows the Warriors are a fast team. We cannot get behind the sticks. We have to get going. And here we are once again. It's almost been the mantra for the night. 3rd and 9. Fairhope behind the sticks once again, Corey.
Predictable down and distance for the Pirates. Again, you want to try to get half of this yardage back to bring up a shorter 4th down situation.
Scipio Staten cheating up, and he's coming around the edge trying to get to Mitchell. And there's an interception, but it's dropped. It is dropped. Davidson, 34. Willie Manuel had it. He dropped the moon pie, Corey.
Taken away by his own teammate as we take a look at the instant replay. And I know there's no instant replay on the field in high school. I thought Willie Manuel, once he almost had this interception, secured the football and might have taken a couple of steps. But when we do know that Willie Manuel's teammate knocked the ball away from him, or it would have been Davidson football.
But we do have a flag on the play, personal foul. Roughing the passer, so Scipio Staten comes around the end and lays the blow, and it cost the Warriors, and that's going to be a 1st down for Fairhope.
2 things for the Fairhope Pirates. It keeps the defense on the sidelines, but it allows you to take a little bit more time off the clock, and this is the 2nd time tonight you've seen the Davidson Warriors on a 3rd or 4th down and long situation give the Fairhope Pirates a 1st down and free yardage.
Coach Carter brings back Cass Stevens back into the game. Back up the middle, maybe 1 or 2. Davidson is reading that play all night long. It's like they're in the Pirates playbook.
But in the 2nd quarter, this is the deepest that the Fairhope Pirates have gotten in the Davidson Warrior territory, regardless if it's 30 yards of penalties or not. The thing is that they are there, the clock is still running, and all it takes is just that one spark, that one play to get your offense on track.
That's right. Don't forget at halftime, we're going to have the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers MCPSS Trivia and Kick Skills Challenge. Also, we'll take a look at our Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union Scholar Student Athlete of the Week, and we'll have our guest, General Manager of WKRG, Mr. Mark Bunning, will be stopping by. We'll appreciate that, so keep it locked in for a halftime. Cass Stevens trying to get it out to the receiver, overthrows Deeds. That's incomplete, takes us to 3rd down.
Just one of those throws that you have to make. You have to. I know he felt the pressure in the pocket or heard the footsteps of the Davidson Warrior defense, but Tanner Deeds was open on the play, would have probably gotten close to the 1st down. Now you bring up a situation to where you're looking at 3rd down and long.
And this is something we've seen a lot tonight, Corey. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8 for the Pirates. Only they're across the 50 this time. They're in Warriors territory. So this is a huge play. Mitchell back in. They've got the Wildcat going. He's going to throw it over to Bell and overthrows him. That is an incomplete pass, not a lateral. But there's a flag on the play. Is it another roughing the passer? Personal foul. There it is. Wow. And second one on this series.
Fred Riley is going to blow a gasket. He's going to be as pink as my shirt is and as pink as your shirt is as we celebrate breast cancer awareness. But with that play right there, as we take a look at the instant replay, the Wildcat quarterback drops back. Devin Mitchell is going to hit to the head is what Tim Porter called on the play.
Roughing the passer once again.
1st down.
So that's a total of 30 yards just on this series that Davidson has given the Fairhope. And Davidson has called a timeout. I'm pretty sure Coach Riley wants to get the defense over and talk to them right now.
They already started on the plus side of the field, the Pirates that is, with this drive. But anytime you give them 30 free yards, we talked about early in the series about not giving up penalty yardage off unnecessary penalties. It's one thing if you go and you knock down a wide receiver for a football, but I know Pablo's right down there on the sidelines and probably can hear the wrath of Fred Riley.
Yeah, let's check in with Pablo.
Well, we can, but we're not hearing the wrath of Coach Riley, rather the better half of Coach Riley. That would be his wife, Susan. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are y'all tonight?
Doing great. Now, go ahead and tell everybody, for those who can't figure it out, why we're all wearing pink, why the cheerleaders have pink pom-poms.
Breast cancer awareness, which I am so thankful to say I am a survivor, 7 years out. So that's why we're wearing pink tonight, and we're going to wear it the whole month of October.
Especially October 21st against Murphy. You guys got a big game coming up, and you're going to go all pink, right?
We're going to go all pink. Fred lets the players wear anything pink they want to that night. Our cheerleaders will be decked out. We'll all be decked out in pink. The American Cancer Society is going to be here with us to do some other things and just to raise awareness for breast cancer.
Fantastic cause, and we got our pink on. Do you? Al, Corey, I know you do.
Oh, yeah, you know we do, Pablo. We're decked out in pink up here, man, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Got to think pink, so we're more than glad to do that. I've been seeing it a lot in the stands tonight. Bell up the middle, gets the carry about 4 or 5 yards there, down to about the 15-yard line, Corey.
And so far, that's the most positive yards that's been gained rushing the football by the Fairhope Pirates. We talked about on first down them wanting to establish maybe 3 or 4 yards per carry. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to move the sticks in the third down situation.
Don't worry, I have that bug right there, Corey.
I appreciate it because you know my fear of flying insects into this booth.
I know you do. 5:34 remaining in the half. Mitchell back once again. We've seen a rotation of quarterbacks tonight. Bell up the middle. Good drive for the Pirates there, getting close to the sticks, possibly a first down. We'll give him maybe 3 or 4 on the carry.
LaTroy McClain Jr., the defensive lineman, 6'1", 208-pound senior on the stop. But what you've seen is positive yards on first down, positive yards on second down, gained by the Pirates, which opens up the play calling ability of your offensive coordinator, Thomas Duffy.
We'll call it 3rd and 3. The ball resting at about the 11-yard line. Pirates inside the red zone looking to get on the board before halftime. Corey, they've been listening to you. Eat that clock up and let that defense rest. Mitchell on the snap, a little fake there. Bell has room up the middle, does a little spin move, gets down to about the 1-yard line. We'll call it the 2.
And anytime your cornerback is coming up to make the play, that spells trouble. It's going to be interesting to see right here in this goal line situation if the Davidson Warrior defense bows up and gets a stop right here and tries to hold the Fairhope Pirates to 3, or whether the underdog runs it right at the Davidson Warriors, in which they've done on this entire drive.
Oh, yeah, it's gut check time. They stop it right there. It was 1st and goal, and the Warriors not having it. 2nd down for Fairhope.
One of our impact players, Tavares Jones, the 5'8", 167-pound senior, comes up and makes a huge stop on the running back in the hole. Now you're looking at 1 yard away from punching in pay dirt for the Fairhope Pirates.
Mitchell tried to keep the ball himself, and they wrapped him up. He's in the shotgun formation, standing about 4 or 5 yards behind the center. Takes a snap, hands off the Bell, and he bruises his way up the middle. Touchdown, Fairhope Pirates on the board.
And that's DeMel Bell's 4th rushing touchdown of the season, as you see the Fairhope Pirates finally crack the code to that Davidson defense. And how was it cracked out? Essentially 30 yards and penalties called against the Davidson Warriors made the Fairhope Pirates get in great field position, but more importantly, the Pirates were able to capitalize off of it.
That is true. 30 yards, a gift from the Warriors there. Cole Deeds on for the extra point. Kick is up and it's looking good. Fairhope on the board, 17-7. 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Great drive by the Pirates. I know we had some penalties in there. See us on the other side. We're back with more action. It's the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, brought to you by WKRG-TV.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens. This is our commitment to them and to you.
Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, brought to you by WKRG-TV. I'm Al Weed and Corley Bounty in the studio. Down on the sidelines, Pablo giving us action. Corey, we've got some action on the field, 17-7. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Outstanding run by the big running back. You knew he was going to get on track. The Mel Bell, only being a sophomore, Coach Carter sung his praise. It was just a matter of loosening up that Davidson Warrior defense. You're in a red zone situation, able to capitalize. That's huge for the Fairhope Pirates.
It is. It is. Fairhope on the board, 17-7. We've got ourselves a ball game now. They do a little short pooch kick. It's taken by the up back at about the 34-yard line, and he's got some room close to the 50. Stay with us at halftime. We're going to have the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers MCPSS Trivia and Kick Challenge. My buddy Howard McCain will try to get another student to win one of those Amazon Fire Kindles. So hopefully we'll have a successful kick for the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers kick there, Corey.
Always look forward to that at halftime. We've had a couple of young people that have kicked the ball extremely well, but tonight it's going to be interesting to see how well our contestant answers the trivia question.
You have to answer the trivia question to get those 5 yards to get closer to kick it. That is correct. 3:55 remaining here in the half. Davidson with the ball. Dante Edwards up the middle. He gets a couple. We'll call it 2 there. Take the Warriors to second down.
And one thing that you noticed on this first play of this drive is the Davidson Warriors want to establish that downhill running game again. They don't want to go quickly 3 and out and give life back to that Fairhope Pirate offense who just scored their first touchdown of the night.
Oh, no. Coach Riley, he wants to run this one down. He wants to get some points probably and run the clock out at the same time, Corey. 2nd and 7, we'll call it here. They hand it off again to Dante Edwards, trying to get around the edge. He's not contained, but they have him wrapped up. But no, he escapes up the sideline just over midfield. Corey, he did a lot of running to maybe pick up maybe 2 or 3 yards.
Reversed his field, but the good thing is he didn't get caught 5 yards back in the backfield. The bad part for the Fairhope Pirates is Star Hutcherson, their starting cornerback on that play, was a little bit injured.
That'll take us to 3rd down for the Warriors. Ball at the 48-yard line.
Being 3rd down and, 3rd down and 7 here, Al. You can look for the Davidson Warriors.
About 3rd and 7.
Again, we haven't called James Clemens' name enough tonight. If they're going to pass the football, he is their go-to wide receiver.
Tried to reach out to DeMaurice Coleman once and A.J. Williams, but not very much passing from the Warriors. But this is a passing play here. Incomplete through the hands of DeMaurice Coleman. Takes Davidson to 4th down, and that stops the clock.
The defense of the Fairhope Pirates showed itself. They've been on the field for a long time in the first quarter, but that's a super-duper break. You look at this throw by quarterback Cephas Johnson. He hits DeMaurice Coleman right in his hand, so that's a catch that Coleman, he probably would not have established the first down, but at least would have gotten positive yardage.
Got to catch that ball. Montano back to punt for the Warriors. Fairhope looking to get this ball back and maybe get some more points on the board before halftime. Decent punt by Montano there. Takes a bounce right about the 35, but it goes backwards. Not a very kind bounce for the Warriors. No one got around it to stop number 26 for Fairhope. And what does he do, Corey? He picks it up and runs. Troy Odom.
Chaz Clemens, luckily for the Davidson Warriors, paid attention that was a live ball situation. And if Chaz Clemens does not make that tackle, that's going to be 6 points for the Fairhope Pirates.
Hopefully Davidson not overlooking Fairhope here. They're sitting in a very good spot at 2nd place in Region 1.
Well, I can guarantee you this, as we're going off the field to halftime, if Pablo's able to grab Coach Riley, when he goes into that locker room, he's going to peel the paint off the wall because he's not happy with the second quarter performance of his Davidson Warriors.
Not at all. Mitchell back in for the Pirates. They're having a platoon duty here at quarterback. Hands off to Bell, just had the touchdown, and he slips down. That's the second time we've seen him slip on the turf tonight, Corey.
His footing has not been great as he tries to cut back. Jerry Garner is going to get credit for the tackle for loss for the Davidson Warriors, but as he tries to plant his foot, for whatever reason, he's just slipping. And like you mentioned, Dal, that is the second time tonight that he's not been able to establish his footing, and we call it the turf monster making the tackle on the play.
Came up and ate him. And that's not what Coach Carter wants. They got great field position here. It was 1st and 10 right about the midfield stripe, and the clock is ticking. So Fairhope, they have their work cut out. They want to get some points on the board. Devin Key in motion. Play clock down to 5. They hand off to Bell, and a flag comes out early on that play. I think we pretty much have an idea what that call may be.
Jerry Garner on the stop for the Davidson Warriors, coming up from his linebacker position, being very active tonight.
Illegal formation.
Sounds as if Mr. Porter said illegal formation against Fairhope. So that'd take them back about 5 yards.
Third down.
And unfortunately for the Fairhope Pirates, in that last touchdown drive, we saw them get positive yards on 1st and 2nd down on this particular possession. Now looking at 3rd down and 16. Want to get half of these yards back. If you can bring up 4th down and 8, 4th down and 7, it gives you an opportunity to flip the field before halftime.
Right. Not wanting to give the ball back to Davidson with very much time on the clock if you have to do that. Mitchell steps back. Quick pass out to Bell. And he's brought down again. I don't know if that was a turf monster or was that an actual. That was Willie Manuel on the tackle there.
On the swing pass, DeMel Bell does a good job of catching the football, and as he tries to turn it up north and south, the only thing that was between him and the 1st down was Willie Manuel. As we take a look at the replay, the swing out pass by the Wildcat quarterback, Mitchell, and you said it, Al, he just trips over his own feet before he's able to turn it up north and south and gain positive yardage.
Smart play by Davidson. They called timeout with that completion because Bell was in bounds and the clock would have continued to run. So Coach Riley and the crew, they say, look, don't leave the timeouts on the board. Let's call timeout now. Stop the clock.
If they get a good return right here, they're going to set themselves up in a situation where they can put points on the board before the half. Their kicker earlier in the half kick a 30-yard field goal.
Let's take it down to the sidelines and check in with Pablo once again.
Yeah, guys, I think that was the turf monster jumped up. If you can kind of see the angle we're looking at things at along the sideline here, you know, we see things at a slightly different angle, and we saw him plant that foot that his right ankle is taped up, and it seems like every time he's slipping, it's on that same ankle. So maybe that's a factor. We'll find out as we move forward.
Good observation, Pablo. We appreciate that. That's what having those eyes on the sideline can help us out with, Cora. We're not able to see those slight nuances up here, about eight or 9 stories up here at Ladd Stadium.
Well, what's going to be important is for Fairhope to get off a great punt right here and not allow Manuel to get a good return.
Earlier in the game, we saw Deeds punt one, and it literally had a net of 1 yard. So here's a good one he gets off. Manuel's going to let that one go. No, he grabs it. And he's got a lot of room. Can he pick up some blockers? He's around the edge, out to the numbers. I see a few flags on the play already. He takes it up to about the 40-yard line, so we'll let the officials sort this out at 1:15 remaining in the half. Don't move. In addition to the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers feature we have with Howard McCain, we're going to have the Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union Scholar Student Athlete of the Week. Also, we'll do some stats from the first half. And in the studio with us, we'll have a special guest, General Manager of WKRG, Mr. Mark Bunning, will be stopping by to talk to us about the great things that the television station and the school system do together here in the area. So that penalty against Davidson, that's going to push them back further, not making Coach Riley and the coaching staff very happy.
One thing that has really punished the Davidson Warriors here in the first half have been those dirty yellow rags. If you're the Davidson Warriors, you want to tell the referees, hey, we want to put those flags in the washing machine for you guys at halftime. Make sure you don't have to pull them in the second half so they don't get so dirty.
You're right about that. 1:15 remaining in the half, 1st and 10. Ball at the 23-yard line of Davidson. Johnson hands off to Edwards. He's got a lot of room, picks up a block by Williams on the edge. Tries to tiptoe, but he has to head out of bounds, maybe about the 41 or 42. Great run by Edwards. importantly, getting out of bounds to stop the clock, Corey.
He tried to hold his balance along the sidelines, but was not. But the good thing for him, he was able to tippy-toe out of bounds. But as soon as he got to the perimeter, he bounced to the outside. You see how quickly he turned it up north and south. He tried to stiff-arm a defender, but he did stop the clock, saving a timeout for the Davidson Warriors.
Keep in mind, Joe Montano hit earlier on a 30-yard field goal, so we may possibly see him here as we get close to the half if Davidson can get this ball into the red zone. Edwards around the edge once again, hits the numbers at the midfield stripe. He's brought down for a first down. That'll stop the clock momentarily to move the chains.
Good drive thus far by the Davidson Warriors. 55 seconds remaining in the second quarter. As the clock stops to move the chains, as soon as the chains are set, Tim Porter will put the clock in motion. The Davidson Warriors going with their hustle-up 2-minute offense.
Oh, they're definitely in speed mode right now. South Alabama commit Cephas Johnson waiting for the snap. 2 runs back-to-back. They fake it with play action. He's trying to connect with someone. He throws it deep. No one is there to get it. He was trying to possibly get to James Clemens, I believe, or DeMaurice Coleman out wide.
DeMaurice Coleman is who he intended that pass to go to and did a good job of trying to get rid of the football. He was stepping out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play.
Way on the far side, there is a flag near where Johnson released the ball, Corey. So let's see. We've had a couple of roughing the passers against Davidson that went against Fairhope, and now that one goes against Fairhope, roughing the passer.
That's a critical error by the Fairhope Pirates, but if you look at the defender who chased Cephas out of the pocket and made him roll out, if we have an opportunity to look at the replay, as Cephas was scrambling out of the pocket, he threw that football at the last moment prior to crossing the line of scrimmage, which made it a good look down the field, but that is going to give the Davidson Warriors free football yardage.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the white team. Also a 15-yard penalty, be an automatic first down.
So that's 30 yards, Corey. Wow.
That's just like he would have connected on the pass to DeMaurice Coleman anyway, but you've definitely established field goal range for the kicker, Joe Montano, if nothing else. But it's also 36 seconds remaining here in the second quarter for them to have an opportunity to go to the end zone a couple of times.
Ball at the 20-yard line. We saw Dante Edwards running in 20 yards earlier in the second quarter, and we know Davidson has quick strike ability. Tavares Jones, he gets it, and they push him back. They may give him forward motion on that. I'm sorry, not Tavares Jones, A.J. Williams. They may give him a couple, Corey.
And they're going hurry up without burning that last timeout. 20 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
15 seconds remaining. Johnson downs it right quick to stop the clock. That'll take the Warriors a third down. They want to save that timeout if they need to get Montano out on the field quickly so they can take a shot at the end zone. 3rd and 5 right here. Actually, they could pick up the first down, but it may be too quick to run it. They may have to burn that timeout.
Al, in this situation, you don't want to run the football unless you're going to immediately call the timeout. If you are going to run the football, you want to put it in a hash mark that's very comfortable for your kicker.
So let's see what the Warriors do. 11 seconds remaining in the half. They're up 17-7. One timeout on the board. Looks like a passing play. They're going out to Williams, and he connects. DeMaurice Coleman, touchdown, 14-yard pass. Quick strike ability of Davidson does it again.
Perfect 2-minute offense run by the Davidson Warriors. DeMaurice Coleman comes away with his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. As we take a look at this replay, Cephas Johnson just drops the biscuit into the basket, finds DeMaurice Coleman. The defender got behind him. 6 more points on the board with 5 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Montano on for the extra point. Kick is up and it's good. Davidson extends their lead 24-7 over Fairhope with 5 seconds remaining in the half, Corey.
Al, the most interesting part of that drive was the Fairhope Pirates, when they scored their touchdown, were able to get 30 yards worth of penalties against the Davidson Warriors. On Davidson's touchdown drive, they're able to get 30 penalty yards from the Fairhope Pirates. So we see how effective and how critical it is to discipline yourself and keep the referees from throwing those flags.
It is. And think back to the play. Mitchell throws the ball to DeMel Bell. 3rd down, minute 24 left. the turf monster comes up and bites him, and what does Fred Riley do? Immediately calls a timeout because he knows they're about to punt the ball.
And the great part about that is you ran your hurry-up 2-minute offense, and you still have one timeout remaining on the board. So you kept that last timeout in your back pocket.
Sure did, sure did. Davidson up 24-7, 5 seconds remaining here. They've got a couple quick scores, and they have stretched this lead out. So I'm pretty sure Coach Riley may have a few things to say to Pablo as we go into halftime. He may not be the happiest camper, but I'm sure he's glad to have this lead extended. That ball goes out of bounds, so that'll be a penalty against Davidson. Bring it up to about the 35 here for Fairhope.
At halftime, I'm going to try to get the statistic on the penalty yardage being assessed against the Davidson Warriors, because I would assume that it's close to 75 yards worth of penalties. Davidson's going to have to elect to re-kick this football, and because of it, no time runs off of the clock.
None.
You're going to be penalized kicking the ball further back, and if you're the Fairhope Pirates only going down and trailing 24-7 at halftime, the good part for the Fairhope Pirates is that you've actually gotten on the scoreboard and you erased that goose egg.
They have hit the average. The Pirates defense gives up about 26.5 points a game, so Davidson's sitting at 24 right now, almost hitting the average of the Fairhope Pirates defense. They're just going to take this one snap and let it run out, Corey, as we get ready for halftime here. So that'll take us to halftime. Davidson on top, 24-7 over Fairhope. Stick with us. We have a lot headed your way during halftime. We'll be talking with General Manager of WKRG, Mr. Mark Bunning. Also, don't forget the Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers MCPSS Trivia and Kick Challenge. And we'll have our Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union Scholar Student Athlete of the Week. We can see Pablo posted up waiting to get a word in with Coach Fred Riley. We'll see if we can get down to him and check in with him, see if he can get a few comments. Let's take it down. Pablo's ready with Coach Riley.
Corey, Al, thank you so much. Here with head coach Fred Riley. Now, Coach, on the scoreboard it looks great, 24-7. In your head, not so much.
You know, we have an offensive series that we're not very good in the red zone and waller around down there, and then we give them a touchdown. You know, I mean, it's hard to tell from here. But two roughing the passing penalties in one drive. I mean, 35 years, I don't think I've ever had two of them. They called Dante, said Dante pointed at the guy and taunted him. I thought Dante shook his fist when our guy knocked the guy off his feet down there and was celebrating a good block. You know, sometimes we just, you know, sometimes those guys look for things to call, and they need to be a little more invisible, in my opinion, and we need to be a little more visible in how we play.
Well, what's the plan for the second half?
More of the same.
There you go. You heard it here. Corey, out. Back to you guys.
There it is, Corey. I like to call him the Steve Spurrier of the Gulf Coast, Coach Fred Riley. He definitely gives it to you straight up.
More of the same for the Davidson Warriors. If you can eliminate those penalties, like you said, become invisible and not have those penalties thrown against you, then you'll be in good shape. 24-7, Davidson leading the Fairhope Pirates. Happy the Pirates got on the board. Hopefully they can have that momentum going into the second half.
Stick with us. Halftime is up next. It's the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, brought to you by WKRG TV. Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, being brought to you by WKRG TV. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty in the booth. Corey, Davidson on top right now, 24-7 over Fairhope. They get on the board late, but unfortunately leave too much time on the clock, and Davidson gets another score before the half.
Great job of execution of the 2-minute offense by the Davidson Warriors. We mentioned Fred Riley had 1 timeout remaining, but the penalty yardage against the Fairhope Pirates is what essentially got them into great scoring position. The Fairhope Pirates defense in the first quarter was on the field entirely too long, but when you look at the second quarter of play, the Fairhope Pirates were able to establish some life, not getting behind in down and distance situations, felt more comfortable on the field, gave the defense an opportunity to rest. Unfortunate for the Fairhope Pirates that Davidson did score right there before the half, took a little wind out of the sails of the Pirates, but with that being said, you can look for a great second half of action here at Ladd Stadium.
I'm pretty sure you could. Coach Fred Riley told us before the game he wanted to run the ball, establish the run. They got a couple running touchdowns, but we noticed they weren't throwing very much. But toward the end, the passing game comes to life. DeMaurice Coleman gets the 14-yard reception from Cephas Johnson.
And like we mentioned, that was an outstanding pass by USA verbal commit Cephas Johnson, finding DeMaurice Coleman in the corner of the end zone. They really needed that touchdown before the half to gain momentum for the Warriors going into halftime, because Fred Riley's going to voice his displeasure with all the penalties that have been assessed against his team.
I know he will. Stick with us. We've got more headed your way. It is halftime here at the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff. Up next, we're going to talk to the general manager of WKRG TV, Mr. Mark Munting. Don't move. It's the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff.
I have a lot of great memories from high school, some great experiences. Just being in the Shaw Band was a great experience. With the leadership in my schools, I always felt like they were very passionate about what they were doing. They cared about their calling to teach and to lead the schools. I always felt like they cared about me as a student and my classmates, and they wanted to see us do well and succeed. The relationships that were formed during those years are what impacted me the most. And I would just like to say thank you.
It is an exciting time of change in the world of education, where technology is being used to engage our learners. And here in the Mobile County Public Schools, we're embracing those changes and moving forward into this new era of learning. It's our vision to be the premier educational system where students engage in multiple pathways, leading to success in a global society. Education for the future. It starts with us.
Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, being brought to you by WKRG TV. It is halftime here at Ladd Peoples Stadium. Davidson on top of Fairhope, 24-7. And you hear it said on Thursday nights, being brought to you by WKRG TV. Well, it's very important that tonight we have the general manager of WKRG with us, Mr. Mark Bunting. How you doing, Mark?
Al, I'm doing well, and it's good to be here.
Absolutely is. We mentioned that a lot. Let's talk about the relationship that you foster with the Mobile County Public School System.
Well, obviously, we want to join with the Mobile County Public School System for a number of reasons. One, it's first of all, I would like to say that you do a great job with Corey.
Thank you.
And, you know, we're showcasing some great talent here on the football field, great talent with regards to the bands that are out there, the cheerleaders. And, you know, this is the future of tomorrow right here.
Right.
And so anything that we can do to help grow that and let people know about the good things that you guys are doing in the school system, that's why we participate. You know, you think about some of the things that we do together. This is obviously one of them. And I want to, you know, give some credit to Martha Peak. I mean, I look at what she has accomplished in a really short period of time. And the school system, if you look in the last couple of years, where we are with graduation rate, with the different things that are now being offered to the kids. We partner with the Taste of Mobile to help the culinary program over at Murphy High School. The kids stuff a bus every year for us, actually 2 buses for our great toy drive. I mean, that's a huge thing. They have collected almost, I think it's like 15,000 toys in the last couple of years to help our toy drive. So if you think about everything that these kids are doing and what they are working to become, you know, our future is really good.
It is. It is. It starts with us, as the school system says. Let's talk about the relationship. I've been doing this a year or two now. could you talk about how long has it been together where we've been airing the games and we're actually on one of the channels, 5.3?
We are on our digital tier. We'd love to have you on WKRG, but because of network situations, that's not possible. But yes, we actually have a number of different TV stations available to us. We have the CW and then some digital tiers there.
Okay.
And of course, MeTV is a very successful, well-watched television station. Nothing but reruns, shows that you and I watched while we were growing up, and a very loyal audience. But this is an opportunity for us to showcase, as I said, some kids and talent that we have in this particular area. You go back to the football field, you look at Randy Patrick does a show on Fridays, Sideline.
Sideline, right.
And you think about all of the kids that we recognize for Players of the Week that come through the school system. Then look at the ones who've won Player of the Year and where they are now in the world of NFL. It's pretty amazing. And so it's just another opportunity for us to showcase the kids in the area.
We're talking with Mark Bunning, General Manager of WKRG, and I'd like to say I guess he would be the godfather of what we're doing right here. You allow us to be on 5.3, so we definitely appreciate that. A lot of viewers along the Gulf Coast pick up MeTV and 5.3 on the digital antenna, but you talked about some of the other channels, the CW, and I've been seeing some things lately about CW at 9, some news going on.
Well,
Peter Albrecht,
yes,
Alan Seals.
Who
are these guys?
Well, we have an opportunity for a new newscast to go after a Pensacola audience, and so that's what has started at 9 o'clock. And coming right out of the CW primetime programming with shows like The Flash and Arrow, which are very popular shows. They've got some new shows that started this year as well. And so what we're doing is a fast-paced newscast out of Pensacola. We have a crew in Pensacola now. And we're focusing on the Pensacola area and the community over there.
That's huge.
It is. And, of course, you got two great guys. You mentioned Peter and Alan, who are doing an exceptional job, along with Catrice Nolan and Haley Minogue, who are our DJs over there, digital journalists, who are one-man bands, are going out there and collecting as much news and content as they can to help fill the newscasts.
Now, as we move into the fall, some people may not have known it, but I'll let it out. This is our last Thursday night broadcast.
That is correct.
So as you move into the fall, what type of programming could folks look for on CW or 5.3, or what could be coming up in the next few months?
Well, with all of the networks, we're in the height of the new season. So on CBS, fortunately for us on WKRG, we don't add a lot of different programs. We do have Thursday night football. The NFL. That will end at the end of this month. We also have Bull, which is a brand new show with Michael Weatherly. Kevin Can Wait, which is Kevin James, a half-hour sitcom on Monday. It's certainly a great fit-in. Big Bang Theory, of course, is back. Shows like Survivor. Survivor, this is the 33rd season of Survivor.
Wow.
And it's still a top 10 show. It's just, it truly is amazing. And then, of course, on the CW, I mentioned some of the shows, but we also, in addition to starting the 9 o'clock news, we've got Family Feud. We moved over there right before 7 o'clock going into prime time. We've got Rules of Engagement, and we've got Pawn Stars. So there's a whole bunch of different shows, great opportunities, and pretty much we offer anything for all different types of viewing pleasures.
Oh, my goodness. We're talking with Mark Bunning, General Manager of WKRG. He's joining us here at halftime for the MCPSS Thursday night kickoff. Before we get out of here, I've got to ask you, we've talked about some future. As you continue to foster this relationship with the school system, where do you see it going? What are some things or some visions or dreams you have?
Well, obviously, I want to be able to expose the television station to students. And I will tell you this, that we donated our old news set to the Mobile County Public School System, half of that. They got a great crew there who has put it together, and on October 20th, we're going to showcase it and show everybody what they have done. And Francis Conaway is right over here. He's one of the guys, along with Quentin Howard, who have put this thing together. I think it's going to give kids an opportunity to do what we do in front of the camera and behind the camera, because as you can tell, being in front of the camera, not something I really like doing, but there are so many different things that we can expose these kids to in terms of what you can do with regards to broadcast, digital, all of the new technology that's out there.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Pleasure was ours.
And thanks so much for allowing us to be on 5.3 for these few
It
Thursdays.
is our pleasure. We look forward to doing this many, many years to come, and hopefully we'll put you on even a better station sometime in the distant
that'll work.
future.
Mark Bunning, General Manager of WKRG. Stick with us. We've got the Gulf Coast Scholar Student Athlete coming up, and also Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers MCPSS Kicking Skills Challenge. It's the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, being brought to you by WKRG TV.
I'm Ashley Rich, District Attorney. Today I want to talk to you about a program that we at the District Attorney's Office has with the Mobile County Public School Systems to help with the bullying issues that are going on in today's world because of social media and because our young people think it's okay to bully others. It's not okay to bully others. Bullying is repeated verbal and physical abuse, ongoing verbal and physical abuse. We at the Mobile County District Attorney's Office want to help the community, we want to help the public school system, and we want to stop bullying within our community. It's really, really important that we do so. And parents need to be responsible if their child is either being bullied or if their child is a bully. Parents need to be involved to stop the bullying or to help the child if they are being bullied. And we at the Mobile County District Attorney's Office and the Mobile County Public School System are also here to help.
Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday Night Kickoff, being brought to you by WKRG TV. It's now time to take a look at our Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union Scholar Student Athlete of the Week.
Hello, I'm Anna Salazar. I'm a senior at Davidson High School, and I am the Scholar Student Athlete.
She has great leadership qualities in the class. We do lots of group work and things, and she's a go-getter. She takes charge and makes sure that things get done correctly.
Time management and organization are really important, but my coach is a teacher and a parent as well, so he gives me the time I need to study while making sure that I am giving my all on the field.
You know, Anna is one of the best athletes that I've had the opportunity to work with. Again, just personality-wise, work ethic-wise, no matter what we're doing, you know, some girls, they will, or athletes, boys too, you know, they'll get to a point and they'll just quit. It just gets too hard for them, and she's not going to do that. She might be the last one in, but she's going to finish the workout. She's not going to stop early like some athletes will. So she's going to push through, and like I said, she's just always smiling and always, you know, she's just a little spot of sunshine. She's great. I wish I could have 100 Annas. That would be I'd be the happiest coach in the world.
I think she'll do great in college, whatever she decides to do. She's got a great support system at home. She's actually the youngest of 4 girls, and I've had the privilege of teaching all of her sisters, and they've all been very successful. She's got great parents, and she just has a good work ethic and drive. She'll be great and successful at whatever she decides to do.
Welcome back to the MCPSS Thursday night kickoff, being brought to you by WKRG. Davidson on top of Fairhope 24-7. Now it's time for the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers MCPSS Trivia and Kick Challenge. Let's take it down to the field with Howard McCain to see if we can get us a winner.
Next up is Caroline Bruton. She's a senior at Theodore High School. Now, Caroline, we were talking off camera, and you told me you do play a sport. What sport is it?
Soccer.
It's soccer, okay? Which involves a lot of what?
Kicking.
A lot of kicking. And what is one of the things you're going to do in this challenge?
Kick.
She's going to kick. Come on. She has an unfair advantage, but you know what? We're still going to let her participate, so we're going to jump right into the trivia. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, listen close. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson purchased land from the French, which doubled the United States in size. This purchase was known as A, the Midland Purchase, B, the Jefferson Purchase, C, the Louisiana Purchase, or D, the Continental Purchase. C, the Louisiana Purchase is correct. So not only can she play soccer, she can answer trivia. So we're gonna move you from the 15 to the 10. And you know, if you do answer the next question correct, we're gonna move you a little bit closer. So I'm gonna need you to come a little bit closer right here so you can listen, so you can be in tight earshot of the next question. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here it is. Francis Scott Key is responsible for writing what? A, the Star-Spangled Banner, B, the Declaration of Independence, C, American History X, or D, the Constitution.
A.
The Star-Spangled Banner is A, and that is correct. Francis Scott Key is responsible for writing the Star-Spangled Banner. So we move you from the 10 to the 5. You got to be getting excited now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, here we go. This is your third and final question, all right? Here we go. The state flower of the state of Alabama is A, the rose, B, camellia, C, magnolia, or D, the morning blossom. B is camellia, and she is absolutely correct. Why is she even playing trivia? She knows all of this stuff. All right, so we're gonna move you all the way down to the goal line. We're gonna set the tee up for you right there on the goal line. You put the football on the tee. You want me to do it for you? You got it?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
All right, I'll do it for you. Laces out, always laces out. So, you're a soccer player. This is easy pickings for you, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, low-hanging fruit, folks. Low-hanging fruit for Miss Bruton. So, Caroline, on your mark, kick whenever you're ready, and take home a Kindle Fire from Amazon.
Okay.
Just relax, take your time. And it's good. It is good. Caroline, come on back. Caroline Bruton made the kick. She answered all the trivia and she made the kick. So she goes home with a brand new Kindle Fire from Amazon. Thank you so much, Caroline. Great job.
Green & Phillips is proud to be a part of today's event and a sponsor of education.
Now that's what I'm talking about, Corey. A successful kick. Way to go, Caroline.
She answered all three trivia questions correct,
Wow.
and then really with the laces out, with Howard McCain's assist, knocked that field goal down and won that Kindle Fire.
That was smart. Laces always out. Speaking of first half, let's talk about first half action, Corey. You got some stats here. We got some numbers to discuss.
We talked about going into the half, Fred Riley being disappointed in the penalty yardage. Davidson had 7 penalties, negating 85 yards. On the flip side of that, Fairhope has 5 penalties, 50 yards. If you look at the scoreboard, 24-7 is our score, but total offense-wise, Fairhope only has 17 yards worth of total offense. That's because it was set up by those 30 yards in penalties called against the Warriors. Davidson has 138 total yards of offense. Cephas Johnson, the dynamic quarterback, has only thrown the ball 6 times. He's 2 out of 6, but one of those completions was for a touchdown. So that's a benefit for the Davidson Warriors. The combination of quarterbacks for the Fairhope Pirates have gone 2 out of 7 for only 2 yards. So it's going to be imperative that the Fairhope Pirates here in the second half, again, gain time of possession and are able to put some more points on the scoreboard.
down 24-7. They've got to come out and get some points quickly because we saw what Davidson can do with that quick strike. One of those completions went to not James Clemens, but went to DeMaris Coleman for the 14-yard touchdown within 2 minutes. Let's go down the sidelines right now and check in with Pablo.
Thanks, guys. We are just got wrapped up talking to Coach Carter here on the sidelines, and second quarter about to begin. I said, Coach, what does your team need to do in the second quarter to improve? He said, we got to finish drives and we got to avoid these penalties and stop beating ourselves. How do you go about doing that? He didn't elaborate. So maybe Corey, Al, maybe you guys have some better analysis than that on how to not beat yourself.
Thank you, Pablo. We appreciate that. Coach Carter saying he's got to finish drives. It's almost like they have to get the drive started, Corey, get going.
That's going to be the key to the game for the Fairhope Pirates and putting positive numbers on this scoreboard. Not beat yourself, but you cannot get behind on down and distance. We talked about it in Corey's checklist. They have to make sure that down and distance is very manageable for the offensive coordinator and the offensive personnel that the Fairhope Pirates have. The Davidson Warriors, if they eliminate the penalties that they committed in the first half, then it'll be a blowout here in the second half because other than the penalties, the Davidson Warriors play great football.
It could be. We're getting ready for second half action. Davidson will be receiving the kick. Back to receive for them, A.J. Williams and I believe Tavares Jones and A.J. Williams back to receive for Davidson. Cole Deeds handling the kicking here for the Pirates. Gets it right down the middle, but it's going out of bounds. The Warriors decide to pick it up. Getting some yardage coming across the 25-30. 33-yard line, Warriors brought down, so they'll start right there in the second half. That was huge, them getting that touchdown and now getting the ball back to start the third quarter.
Tavares Jones, one of our impact players, did an outstanding job on that return, keeping his legs turning, trying to get tough yardage, and in better field position for the Davidson Warriors as they take over at their own 32-yard line. Let's see if they continue to try to establish that running game that they were able to get a hold of in the first half. Dante Edwards, Tavares Jones, the running back by committee. Don't forget about Cephas Johnson, who also can, with those long legs of his and that 6'3 frame, gain positive yards also.
Oh, don't forget about him. Our first look at Davidson here in the third quarter as we get action started. We're at Ladd Peebles Stadium for the MCPSS Thursday night kickoff. I must say I erred too quickly during halftime there, Corey. We actually have one more telecast that'll be headed your way later this season, so we'll share that with you toward the end of the telecast. Johnson takes the snap, hands off to Dante Edwards. He's trying to pick his way to get a lane to go through, and he has wrapped up and brought down one of those. Gibbs Sherrill bringing him down.
Brett Howell was the defensive back who got into the backfield and made Edwards do a little bit of a stutter step. But with that being said, as we look at the replay on Edwards' move, you see the penetration of the Fairhope Pirates defense, which allowed other defenders to come to his rescue, and they're able to gang tackle Edwards.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. 2nd and 16. Edwards takes a 6-yard loss on that. So the Warriors behind the sticks early here in the third quarter. Play clock down to less than 10 seconds here. In motion, A.J. Williams. They hand off. They keep it. Trying to reach James Clemens. He's wide open across the midfield stripe. Escapes a tackle on the sidelines, getting more yards. James Clemens, the leading receiver for the Warriors. We haven't called his name very much tonight, Corey, and that time it was effective getting the ball to him.
Only his second reception of the night, but what a dynamic reception it was. We see the offensive explosiveness that he can bring to this squad. He loosens you up with the run, and then all of a sudden Cephas Johnson drops back and finds his favorite target. Complete. I'll let everything else speak for itself.
Unfortunately, there is a flag on the play. That play is going to be negated. The ball is coming back, placed at the Warriors' 21-yard line. We'll get the call from the officials here. It'll be 1st and 21. Looks like that's probably going to be a hold against Davidson, Corey.
The good part about that for James Clemens, it looks good on your huddle film. The bad part about that is it doesn't count officially in the stat book.
I'm sorry. 2nd and 21 will be the call here. Does not count in the stat book. Quick pass out to Williams. He's wrapped up immediately and brought down by the Pirates. Gibbs Sherrill on the tackle there.
Explosive defensive play by Gibbs Sherrill as the completion was made to A.J. Williams, just almost parallel to the line of scrimmage, but a good job by the cornerback coming up and making the stop on the play.
3rd and 27 we'll call this. Corey, what do you think's in the playbooks for the Warriors on this particular down?
Well, what you want to do is you want to make sure that it goes into the hands of 2 of your best wide receivers. Give them an opportunity to make the catch, James Clemens or DeMorris Coleman.
Johnson putting the ball up, trying to connect with Williams, overthrows him. 3 Pirates defenders back there to defend. That'll take Davidson to 4th down.
Well, the good part for the Fairhope Pirates is you establish a stop at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, allowing your defense to go and rest on the sidelines. The other flip side of that is now that you've given the ball to your offense, it's going to be imperative that they do something with it.
Right.
We know they only had 17 total yards of offense in the first half. You want to try to double or triple that here. You're going to be in good field position on this punt return.
Montano standing almost near the end line there, at the goal line rather. Low snap. He gets the punt off. Very shallow punt. Warriors trying to down it maybe at about the 46, 45-yard line. Good punt from Montano. Get Davidson out of their own area there. Put that ball across the midfield stripe.
And one of the things we notice about that punt is the punt returner, Tanner Deeds, he dropped one earlier after it hit the turf. Richard Brunson, the stat keeper for Pirate Nation, informed us that that's his 3rd drop punt or muff punt of the season. With that being said, he decided to get away from that football, let the Fairhope Pirate offense take over on the 45-yard line.
That was a smart play. Pirates look like they're in the Wildcat once again. Well, no, they just have Mitchell. They're in the spread. Devin Mitchell, the platooning both the quarterbacks tonight, Mitchell and Stevens for the Pirates. Mitchell keeps it heads up the middle, powers his way maybe 2 or 3. Takes Fairhope to 2nd down.
But that's all it takes on 1st down is getting positive yards, whether it's in the Wildcat position, Devin Mitchell on the carry, making the tackle, James Potter from his nose tackle position. All it takes is a couple of yards to get this Fairhope offense started up. And we saw that on the touchdown drive from 6 yards out. It helped that Davidson had 30 yards of penalties, but it's still they were able to get the type of tempo and not be behind on down on distance.
We'll call it 2nd and 7 for the Pirates here. Mitchell waiting for the snap. Fakes the handoff. He's looking to connect and keeps it heads up the middle and wrapped up immediately. Scipio Staten.
Scipio Staten did not go for the play action fake. He stayed at home from his outside linebacker position. That's one of the first times tonight we've credited him for a solo tackle. As we take a look at the replay, Scipio Staten, 6'3", 175-pound senior, makes an outstanding tackle all by himself in the open field.
Smart play by Staten. No gain on the play, 3rd and 7. It's a down and distance the Pirates are familiar with tonight, trying to get past the midfield stripe and keep this drive going. They bring Stevens back in, possibly a pass play. There's Deeds going across the middle. They do not connect with him. Ball intended for Devin Key, incomplete. 4th down for Fairhope.
And it's one of those balls that hit you in the hands. If Key makes the reception, he has a lot of green grass in front of you. As we take a look at the replay, because Stevens sees him streaking across the field and hit him right in the wrong spot, Al, his hands.
Right in the wrong spot. As we say all the time, you get 2 hands on it, or at least one, you got to catch that ball.
You got to come away with that if you want to give yourself an opportunity to beat a top 10 ranked team in 7A Region 1.
Speaking of rankings, we'll have those out later on. Davidson did move up a spot. We'll share that with you as the game progresses. Cole Deeds on to punt for Fairhope. He gets a good one off. Nice booming kick there. Ball heads out of bounds about the 13, 14-yard line, and Davidson will get their 2nd shot at it here in the 2nd half. Well, Corey, we must have talked it up. My producer just told me we got some rankings headed your way. Let's take a look at the standings right here, but not the rankings. 5A Region 1 standings. Viger right there, 4-0 undefeated. They've got a big one tomorrow where they're taking on Jackson. That's going to be a big game. St. Paul's, they got the win last week over Jackson. Citronelle, they're hanging tough and they're sitting solid in 4th place. The race for 4th, they have command and control right there. Faith Academy undefeated. Undefeated.